That was Carmine Appice, who was the first drummer that I ever met in my life when he did a clinic in my old neighborhood in New York, and I went to it. And he might have been Cactus or Vanilla Fudge or one of those kind of bands back then. And I was really just the guy that wanted to, it was the first time I ever met a professional rock musician. Right. Not a guy who played at weddings, or not a guy who like wanted to be in a band or was really, because where we lived, there was quite a lot of good musicians, you know, but here was a guy that got out from the old neighborhood and went on tour. He was like, toured the world. He was on Ed Sullivan's show. He was on he done things. And I asked him questions in the front row, and he was like really, really cool. I was less interested in like learning the double kick pattern from his book, which I had studied, Realistic Rock, in my lessons, than I was to find out about, man, what's it like to like go to Europe. I was more interested in that part of it than the technical. All these are one of my favorite drummers, Carmine. But after the clinic, he like stood and talked for a long time, and there was right next door to the Long Island Drum Center. There was a pizza place, and we got a piece of pizza. And I just talk a mile a minute, asking about questions. Like, now, how do you get the equipment from your house to the gig? Well, we have a bus, kid, and then there's a truck driver. Wait a minute, someone sets up the drums for you and takes it to the, you know. I was 15 probably. Yeah. I was just so intrigued with every angle of it. And that was it, you know. He had to leave to do his next thing. He was going on tour with somebody. And then not even that long after that, 2-3 years after that, three years, I ran into him out, you know, as you run into people on the road. He didn't remember because I had long hair at the time when I met him. I said, that's me that went to the Long Island Drum Center and asked you all those questions. We had a piece of pizza. Oh, things worked out for you, right? Yeah. And he's been my friend ever since, really. I stay in touch with him, and he was kind of like a mentor in a funny way. So
amazing. Yeah. And I think from what I understand about Carmine, I want to get him on the show soon, actually. Right. I've had his brother Vinny on. But yeah, he was like one of the first drummers that was a star in his own right.
Yeah.
And like, you know, his name was on the kick drum and all this stuff. And it was his kind of, I remember the little cartoon logo of his face and stuff. Yeah. So like he was the star. And I think maybe that, I don't know if that influenced you, because you were in the Stray Cats, you were all stars. You like you said earlier, you were at the front of the stage, you're all equal. So I imagine, he must have been a big influence at that, especially at that time as well.
And then answered you like a kid that, you know, was kind of bugging you with questions, but that's a better thing. And he was happy to, He was happy to talk. And I think that's a very important thing.